Hello and Assalamu alaikum. Have you ever looked at a student and thought they're not trying? They're too sensitive. They don't participate. They seem anxious. Why do they react so strongly? But if behind that behavior there is an emotional experience that we simply cannot see, today I want to talk about uh, the emotional side of neurodivergent students, the side that is often invisible in classrooms, assessment rooms, and even at home. Because neurodivergent divergence is not only about how a student learns, it can also shape how they experience belonging, failure, pressure, feedback, relationships, and themselves. So imagine being in a classroom where everyone seems to know what to do. Everyone starts writing, everyone finishes on time, everyone seems comfortable answering questions, and you're still trying to understand the instructions. You may know the answer, you may understand the topic, but your brain needs more time to process, organize, retrieve, or express what you know. And then you look around and everyone else has finished. You may begin to think, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm stupid. Why can everyone else do this and why can't I? Over time, repeated experiences like these can affect a student's confidence and sense of self. And this is something educators need to remember. A student who struggles with a particular learning environment is not necessarily a student who lacks ability. Sometimes the environment is creating barriers that have nothing to do with the student's actual understanding. For some neurodivergent students, the classroom can be overwhelming because of the noise, bright lights, multiple instructions, unexpected changes, time pressure, social expectations, and then there is assessment. Your time starts now. 5 minutes remaining. Move to the next question. Now these are the questions. If they are, if in a hall, neurodivergent students are sitting and such kind of repeatedly, time is finishing. Finish your work quickly. These conditions can increase their anxiety and cognitive load. And when anxiety rises, accessing what you already know can become even more difficult. This is why we should be careful about interpreting emotional reactions as simply bad behavior. A student who becomes quiet may not be uninterested. A student who becomes distressed may not be seeking attention. Sometimes what we are seeing is overload. The behavior is visible. The reason behind it may not be. And then we come to something particularly important in education: feedback. Feedback is supposed to help students learn, but emotionally, feedback can feel very different depending on how a student experiences it. Imagine receiving a page covered in corrections. You already feel uncertain about your ability. You look at the page and see everything you did wrong. You may not hear, here is how you can improve. Instead, you may emotionally hear, you failed. I can never get this right. I'm not good at this. This is why feedback is not simply information, it is also an emotional experience. The way feedback is communicated, interpreted, and acted upon matters. And our goal should not to protect students from constructive feedback. It should be to make feedback, usable, understandable, and supportive learning. Another emotional challenge is comparison. Neurodivergent students are often surrounded by systems designed and about assumptions, designed around assumptions about how students should learn, communicate, concentrate, read, write, or demonstrate knowledge. And when a student repeatedly feels that they are different, they may start comparing themselves with others. Why can't I do like them? Why does this take me so long? Why do I need help? Why do I have to ask for extra time? Eventually, the problem may no longer feel like this. This assessment doesn't work well for me. It can become something is wrong with me. That shift is powerful and potentially damaging. Our responsibility as educators is to challenge that message. Difference does not automatically mean deficit. So, what can we do? First, listen before interpreting. Instead of asking, why aren't you engaging? Try asking, what is making it difficult for you to engage? Second, separate ability from performance conditions. Ask yourself, am I assessing what this student actually knows, or am I measuring their ability to cope with unnecessary barriers? And thirdly, make expectations clear. Clear instructions, predictable structure, accessible feedback, and appropriate flexibility can reduce unnecessary emotional and cognitive demands. And finally, create psychological safety. Students should feel that asking for clarification, requesting reasonable support, or explaining how they learn is not an admission of failure. The emotional side of divergence is often invisible. We may see, the missed deadline, the unfinished assignment, the silence, the anxiety, the withdrawal, the frustration, but we may not see the effort behind it. So perhaps the question we need to ask is not why isn't this student coping. Perhaps we should ask sometimes, we should sometimes ask, what is this student having to cope with? Or because every student deserves more than access to education. They deserve to feel that they belong, they are capable, and that their differences, their differences do not make them less worthy of being heard. Uh, I think we should all work towards first the emotional well being of all the students, but above all, the neurodivergent ones who feel that they are the failures. So we should build their confidence that they are not the failures. It's only that the educators, the parents, the society can help them improve their psychological or their emotional well-being. Thank you so much for listening. And I want to thank my followers for encouraging me to make more videos, such informative videos, and let's join hand and work towards the betterment of our neurodivergent students. See you next time. Till then, Khuda Hafiz.